All of your questions about creatine answered. If you've been lifting for more than a month, you've probably heard about creatine. So what actually is it? Is it safe? And should you be taking it? You've probably already had creatine without even realizing it, because like protein, you actually find creatine in food. Creatine can be found in steak and fish like tuna and salmon. So first things first, what does creatine actually do? So in its simplest form, creatine essentially helps you during your workouts. Your body goes through a process when you're working out consisting of burning your natural energy sources to give you fuel. Creatine essentially enhances this process and helps you train for longer and harder, and it also helps the recovery process. Simply, creatine can enhance your strength, increase performance, and therefore improve results. Which leads on to the next question. Is it safe? Creatine is quite literally the most researched supplement in the market. It was supposedly discovered as early as the 1800s, and it gained popularity around 1992. And amongst all the research and all the studies, nothing untoward has ever been discovered. Yes, it is safe. No, it's not dangerous, and no, it does not cause any weird side effects. Which brings me on to the next question. Does creatine cause any side effects? No. I think the only thing that's ever really been considered a side effect is cramping. But I mean, come on, get your water in, get your salt in, you're not gonna cramp. Does it cause kidney problems? Again, absolutely not. No research has ever found this to be true. This is again a complete myth. 20 years of research have shown no adverse effects from recommended doses of creatine on kidney health. Should you take creatine when you're cutting or when you're bulking? The answer to this question is yes. Now, while creatine is commonly taken during a bulking phase, understandably, because it does help you gain muscle and therefore gain weight, it can also be used for cutting. As I mentioned earlier, creatine is a great source for energy during your workouts, which is only going to be beneficial during the cutting phase, especially when you're lower on calories and you may be struggling to get that natural energy that you usually have in the gym. The one thing to consider here is if you are stepping on the scales, be aware that you're going to have much more water volume, so your weight may reflect that on the scales. But anyway, yes, you can take this during a bulk or a cut. When should you take creatine? Obviously, first of all, every single day. That should go without saying. The time you take it can vary. There have been studies and there is research that shows it's actually more beneficial to take your creatine just before or just after a workout. And then on rest days, you can take it obviously whenever you like. This is just what research is showing to be the most effective time to take creatine. However, research on this isn't taken for 100% fact. Does creatine actually cause hair loss? There was one study that did show an increase in DHT, which is linked to hair loss. However, this research is again not significant enough to actually prove that creatine does cause any hair loss. As it stands, most people will say there is absolutely no correlation. There has not been strong enough evidence to prove that creatine does actually cause hair loss. You absolutely are not going to start taking creatine and wake up bald. Will you lose gains when you stop taking creatine? No. If you're able to build a solid foundation of muscle whilst being on creatine, you absolutely are going to keep those gains, unless you literally stopped training and stopped eating. As long as you keep your training and recovery the same, you will absolutely keep the gains that you made whilst on creatine. Which creatine is best? This goes without saying. Any creatine is good as long as it's creatine monohydrate. That's all you need to look out for. Doesn't matter whether it's pill form, gummies, powder, it really is whatever you prefer. Just get that creatine monohydrate and you're good. Should you cycle creatine? Again, some people say yes, some people say no. There is no hard research that shows that you should cycle it versus not. You can just take this for as long as you want and experience the benefits. As I mentioned before, you're not going to stop taking it and suddenly completely change body type. You're not going to stop taking it and lose gains. You can take it for as long as you want. Some people do cycle it. However, like I said, no hard evidence shows that this is even really beneficial. Take your creatine alongside a solid diet, a solid training routine, good recovery, and you'll get immense results. There you go. Creatine is a safe supplement. You absolutely should take it. You will notice results. You won't notice anything significant when you stop taking it. It's not dangerous. You're not going to go bald. Your kidneys aren't going to stop working. You're more than likely get a little bit stronger, get a little bit bigger. And why would you not want to do that? That's all from me. Please subscribe for plenty more.